Hello there, my name's Dane Lemaitre. Welcome to the video. It's a very nice day outside today, which is why I've got my sunglasses and my hat on, you can see here. But for me it's also a very nice day because I've managed to get my Hornby James fixed after roughly about 9 months. If you scroll down and click on show more in the description below, I've left links to parts 1 and 2 of getting Hornby James back on track. Please enjoy the rest of the video and many thanks for watching. So welcome to part 3 of 3 of getting Hornby James back on track, and Hornby James is now fixed, as you can see here in the box. And here's a look at what happened previously to Hornby James. Right, so I've taken my James out of the box now. Something worth adding is it comes with these instructions as well. But like I said, I'm going to be sending this off to Hornby. So there's James's tender there. As I said, James is a tender-driven locomotive, which means he's driven by his tender. Unlike Murdoch, Murdoch's a loco-driven engine. There's other engines like Spencer that are also loco-driven, so driven by the driving wheels, not the tender. So these wheels should be able to move by themselves, but as you can see, they don't. They're well and truly stuck. They can't turn at all. Another thing as well is, if you look carefully next to the screw there's a little crack. So like I said, this James has been packed away for a little while, and I've got locomotives such as Hornby Toby that have been packed away a lot longer, and Toby works absolutely fine. So why this model of James doesn't, I don't know. Right, well today is Friday the 3rd November 2017, 7 o'clock in the evening. I've just got home from work. I was working 10 till 6 today. Anyway, I've got back. Hornby James has been delivered. However, unfortunately, as you can see on this letter here, it hasn't been repaired, and they haven't even spelled the word repaired right. Which is a bit disappointing, really, because you know, obviously I sent it off to be repaired, and there's not an explanation as to why it can't be repaired. So James is still in the same state that he's in. James is covered there by a white piece of sheet, which starts from just there, as you can see. Card going right the way along. And obviously you've seen the back of the box before. So yeah, quite a disappointing outcome, really. You know, I sent it off to be repaired, and it comes back, you know, and it's not. And obviously, I spent money to send it there. All it's cost me is £8.55, and that was for next day's delivery and Royal Mail tracking. And that was the only way that I was insured to make sure that A, it got there safely, and B, obviously, if anything happened to it, I'd have been insured. So I had to spend that £8.55 in order to get there safely. So after roughly about 9 months, say Hornby James is now fixed, and today's date is the 17th of July. And here is another model of James, as you can see here. I got this in a charity shop of all places, and under here is James's old chassis, the one that's completely rock hard, and the wheels don't turn, because basically Hornby James is powered by the tender, which means that the front wheels aren't powered. But basically Hornby said to me that they couldn't
fix Hornby James because they didn't have the parts, and also because when they re-released the range in 2015, which was 3 years ago now, obviously all the tender engines became loco driven, so powered by the front, not the tenders. So therefore they couldn't give me the parts to replace it. But then, like I said, I was in a charity shop of all places, and I found the front part of James. And this is the body of the James I found. I'm saying that's the old chassis there, so that won't turn at all. However, I'm now going to get that Hornby James out of the box and show you. So I've now got Hornby James out of the box. So this is James with the new chassis, which I found. And as you can see, the wheels turn absolutely perfectly. And then, like I said, this one is the one with the old chassis. Wheels don't turn at all. And like I said, I'm absolutely delighted now that James works. I had a little run of him, which I'll show you in a minute. Also, I've now fitted the lamp irons on the front, which are these little stumps, back stumps along the front here, where the lamps normally go on engines when they're travelling. So yeah, I fitted them. It does come with some brake pipes as well, but I've not actually added the brake pipes. Thomas has been in the news quite a lot recently. Hornby announced this year, unfortunately, that they're stopping the Thomas the Tank Engine range, which I think is a bit of a shame. Obviously, Bachmann do them, and I've got lots of the Bachmann engines. But like I said, Hornby are no longer going to be doing them, and I think it's a real shame, really. They released a statement saying that it was because of new laws on safety and things like that. However, at the Northampton Landport Railway, I know a volunteer there by the name of Martin Percy. The Northampton Landport Railway, they used to do the days out with Thomas, but unfortunately they had to stop them because it became too expensive. And obviously, if they're not going to make any money out of it, and they're a heritage railway, then they can't do it at all. And then also at Rushden Station, they have the Blue Circle, and the Blue Circle, as you know, is the basis of Fergus in Thomas Tank Engine, and they can't dress it up as Fergus again because it becomes too expensive. And I think it's a shame, really. I mean, when the Reverend W. Awdry created the stories about Thomas the Tank Engine and all of his friends, he didn't intend to become a multi-millionaire or anything. He done it purely for entertainment. Obviously, there's a war going on back then, so there wasn't as many books around. But now Thomas has become the victim, like many things, of money-making schemes, unfortunately. And don't get me wrong, I think there needs to be some money made out of it for obviously the people that work on the show and things like that. But then, it's where do you draw the line, really? And also, Thomas was in the news recently because the land train at Lowestoft got stolen, which I think is a real shame, really. I don't understand why. People steal things, really. It ruins it for everyone else. And I suppose it ruins it for themselves in a way, really. And how are you going to drive around the streets in that and make it look like, when it's Thomas and people not know that it's stolen when it's been on the news now? I don't know, really. I think it's a shame, really, that it's got to that stage. Hornby's been in the news quite a few times this year as well, that unfortunately it's been struggling, really. But I think the thing is, as well, is, toys are not a major part of people's lives. People obviously have bills to pay. They've got grocery shopping, so toys are not essential. Obviously, say this year Toys R Us unfortunately closed as well, which was a little bit of a shock, but then also not a shock because over the last sort of 8 years now, I thought to myself that it'd become a lot more expensive. But nevertheless, I'm still sad to see it go, like many other people. But yeah, like I said, my Hornby James is now fixed, and like I said, I just had to be in the right place at the right time. And this chassis underneath it says that this was made in 2011. So like I said, this is the old body, but the new chassis. And when I found this in the charity shop, it didn't come with the tender, so I don't have another tender. The only tender I've got is the old one there. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with that tender, as you'll see in a minute when it runs. And then also, if you look at the old one, it doesn't have any writing underneath. But like I said, that's completely seized up, and you can even see where it's cracked, and it's, say, the wheels are rock hard. It won't turn at all. The only way to actually, say, well, there's no real way to fix that, really. Like I said, I've just had to literally replace the chassis. So, I was quite lucky, really. Here's a better look at Hornby James running, and thank you very much for watching. Here's something else I got that you might be interested in seeing. I got this little Thomas item from Wellingborough Flea Market, where I've got a few other items from over the years.